Hi everyone, we are back. Welcome to another live reality game shows podcast. We are covering the new era of Survivor Syracuse. And who is this with me? My lovely co-host, third place finisher of Survivor Heroes versus Villains. We don't talk about mind, body, and soul. Gabby! Gabby, how are you doing?
I'm so good, Lee. Thank you so much for asking me to recap this season with you. Obviously, a huge Survivor Syracuse stan, and I have some buddies on this season too, so a lot of personal investment in this. So thank
Yeah,
you.
glad to have you here. I'm starting a new tradition. If you get third place, you host the next season.
Obsessed. We'll see. Well, let's see who that is.
We will see. And if
my
they are worthy enough.
This is really just a competition for my successor on this podcast and not on this stream, and not it's not actually about the Soul Survivor. It's about
No, nobody cares about who wins. We only care about who gets third.
yes, exactly. Who gets to co-host live reality games?
Yes, because that's usually third place usually equals robbed. Well, if we ignore the first two seasons.
Yes.
Yes, we only focus on the latter two.
Of course.
So, Gabby, what have you been up to since we last saw you on the pod?
Oh, on the pod. Oh my gosh. I was so last okay, so I've graduated since the last time you saw me. Yes. Just barely. We got there.
It's still graduating.
I did it. They can't take that piece of paper away from me now. And I also moved. I moved to New Jersey, of all places. Yeah.
She's a Jersey girl now.
Yeah, Jersey girl.
See you on the next Jersey Shore.
Oh, literally, if they did a reboot, come on.
I mean, there's been All Star Shore. I'm sure they can reboot Jersey.
Absolutely. I mean, they have like that whole Jersey Shore family vacation or whatever. Yeah. But I also got a puppy, which is super fun. But yeah, other than that, not really anything. It's kind of like hanging out,
living life, trying to get through it.
Exactly.
You could say you are starting a new era on life, which transitions us to the beginning of the season. Survivor New Era. We're done with Luke hosting. He was great, but now we're moving on to the new hosts. So we're starting with Survivor Era, New Era, Episode 1. This season came out of nowhere for a lot of people.
Yes, New Jersey. Polly, obviously New Jersey native. New Jersey represent all the way.
Yeah, we love Jersey here. Well, used to.
But yes, you're right. This season was very surprising, even for me when it was happening. It was very shocking that season 5 was happening simultaneously with season 4.
Yeah, what in production's mind thought that was a good idea?
I have absolutely no idea. I mean, it was definitely fun for the participants because, like, I was saying before we went live, like, we would have a lot of the cats would like hang out a lot, like at Luke's house and stuff like that, and we would have kind of Survivor free, social hangs, and that was super awesome. So that's a huge benefit. But also, like, I know that the people on production were going nuts, and I think the idea behind it was that Luke was so hands-on with all the other seasons that he wanted another season to be happening where he was like still on campus, so that he could kind of have his little like guiding hand, helping the boys out with passing
help lead the new generation.
Exactly, because which is why he popped in at the beginning for a little bit, I think.
Yeah, because it's not only a new era for the cast, it's a new era for production. We have season 2 players Mike and Andrew taking over as co-hosts for the season. So congrats on you guys for being upgraded to hosts.
Yes. I will say one thing I'm severely going to miss about Luke, and my castmates will know this. His big filler word was always "that said." And so we had a drinking game where every time you said "that said," you would have to drink. And it was, he literally, he's in this episode for 30 seconds at the beginning. He says "that said" 3 times. That's what I'm gonna miss the most. That's what I'm gonna miss the most about Luke.
It's funny you mentioned that because watching this episode, I made up a drinking game where you take a shot, everybody says, but this is Survivor. Like it's an excuse for them to get away with bad things.
But this is Survivor, and also like I'm just gonna like talk to everybody and like try to make
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah, like I'm just gonna be very social, but I'm also gonna be very strategic and very physical. And I'm not gonna talk to anyone, but I'm gonna talk to everyone.
Yeah.
And I don't want to start off really strong, but I want to make alliances with everyone. And it's just very that.
It's very that.
Yeah.
It's very
You can. So let's get introduced to the new cast. We'll quickly go by them in intro order. By that I mean when we first see them on screen. We first get introduced to Philip. He apparently asked Boston Rob a question. How not to be a first boot. I mean, I don't know what you know about that, Gabby, if you were an early boot or not.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I mean, you were never a first boot.
You can't take that away from me. Hi, Jen Glass.
Shoutouts to Jen. Oh, poor girl. So, how to not be an early boot. Don't be that guy. Don't be weak, and pick your battles. Interesting. Well, it worked out for him because he wasn't the first boot. Emily, she wants to be friends with everyone, but is concerned about being friends with everyone. Parker wants a group with everyone. Julia, nothing special right off the gate. Savannah wants to make a day one alliance. Ben, fan of Survivor. That's original. Mel.
When he says it, he means it. He means it.
Like, are we talking Jake Niebuhr level fan?
There is literally nobody at that level. That's like legitimately impossible. But
Hannah Dolan level?
Yeah, probably somewhere around a Hannah Dolan.
Okay, so he's around Hannah Dolan level, so that's concerning. So a familiar face, a partner of yours in the challenge, Mel, who was a vice president of production.
I know. That's a big gag.
Yeah.
It's a big gag. It's testing how incredibly carefully everybody has been paying attention to the last couple of seasons, because she pops in, she's like next to Luke in a lot of challenges in a lot of different years. So if you have a really discerning eye, you would have been able to clock that. But yeah. I don't know if this cast did.
Judging by this cast, no. Well, maybe one member of this cast, this next person, Casey, an e-board member. Now, I don't know what an e-board member does, but she works on production.
Yeah, so e-board is executive board. So it's like our production board.
Okay. So 2 former production members, now players. Interesting. Will they work together? Do they even know of each other? Next, Lily wants to be the nice girl. That usually works out.
She is a nice girl. I don't know how she plays it in this game, but I have met her. She's very nice.
Yeah, and we can see niceness can be the simple thing that gets you far in the game. Marcelo, who was added very last minute, you can easily tell.
Sometimes that's a struggle because Mind, Body, Soul, I was a very last minute addition, and that wasn't good for me because I wasn't, mentally preparing myself to get in the game for months in advance. Like every minute.
It was like you got a message on Paul. It's like, be a part of the Survivor. And you're like, sure, camera time.
That's pretty much exactly what happened.
It's like, I got attention. I just know it. Will, the winner of Survivor Maryland season 14.
Yeah.
I still can't control the winner. He has to win something. Eli, a Cedar Californian who can't deal with the cold.
Oh, I was gonna say I wrote notes on the episode.
Oh, then I had them as well. I was literally like an hour before this, like rewatching the episode, being like, okay, I have to make sure I remember these people.
Yeah. So for Eli, I wrote that any people from California will let you know in the first 30 seconds of meeting them, and he did exactly that. It was immediately like, I'm from California, by the way.
Yeah, it's like, okay. We get introduced Brianna, who's more of an individual than a team player. Emma, who's very social, go big and go home. Mario, who's paranoid. Andrew, the brother of season 2 boot Aaron, or as I like to call him, AA Ron. Jason, who is Derek's roommate. Yikes. And Maddie, who I have renamed Lydia 2.0 because for some reason she reminds me of Lydia.
I mean, I could see that energy off the bat.
It's not even that. It's like she sounds like Lydia as well.
True. Maybe she talks really fast like Lydia.
Yeah, maybe. And that's our cast. So seeing this cast, what were your first impressions of them when you were playing, when you were watching, seeing their confessionals?
So first of all, Mel, she is my big in my sorority. And so we are pretty close, and she got me into Syrvivor and all that. So I'm obviously Team Mel, as unbiased as I'm going to try to be. But I worked with her in my Loved Ones challenge, as we saw, and
how did you do in that challenge?
I did awfully. And I will say, I'm just going to bring something about that up later when we start talking about the challenge, because it was a similar challenge as the one that was in this episode, and I faced similar struggles with Miss Mel Albanese. But anyway, Lily, I said, is super nice. There's a lot of freshmen on this cast, like more than usual, which I've noticed, and I think maybe it's because we filmed in the spring and like a lot of freshmen were kind of settled in at that point and, you know, ready to join. But that'll be really interesting because, you know, have they been watching the other seasons? Like, are they just Syrvivor super fans? Obviously, they don't know who Mel and Casey are, which is a huge advantage for them if they're like, I know everything about this game, and they don't know that I know everything about this game.
I mean, we have a couple of people saying that they've watched season 2. Maddie apparently guessed Austin would win before the season even started.
Okay, but like, yeah, like Austin was really good. So
yeah, and look who's playing that season.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah. I guess at this point, only seasons 1 and 2 had been released. I think.
Yeah, those were the.
Yeah, season 3.
Season 3 was not released yet.
It was like about to be released. Like it was, the episodes were coming out that semester. So
okay.
Yeah, so I guess it makes sense that people wouldn't know Mel and Casey, but yeah, I think they're coming in with a huge advantage.
Yeah. Just being in production, like.
Mm-hmm.
And oh yeah, Jason said he's not a fan of Survivor. There have been college Survivor winners who knew nothing about Survivor and have won the show.
Mm-hmm.
I can think of 3 right off the gate. Mallory, Isabella, Olivia, just to name a few. Maddie's like, I names.
I knew very little about Survivor coming into my first season. I had actually never watched an episode of Survivor, and then I got asked to be on the season, and I watched like literally 5 seasons, like binged 5 seasons, and was like, cool, I know everything, I'm chilling.
Yeah.
But yeah, that being said, Luke Uriarty, that being said, I think that there is an advantage in knowing a lot about Survivor and knowing a lot about the game. I think it's very hard to do really well if you're kind of clueless.
Yes, there's definitely advantages to knowing Survivor, but there's also disadvantages, like what I call superfan syndrome, where you think you know the game, but in actuality, you just know the show.
Yes.
Because the game is always unpredictable. You never know. I think Ben mentions this at some point. It depends on the cast. Will the cast respect loyalty over strategy, or respect backstabbing and manipulation over being friends with people?
Yeah, exactly. And it's also I also think that sometimes super fans get way too excited about like finally getting the opportunity to play, and they're like, I want to do everything right off the bat, and then people are like, all right, goodbye, we can't handle you. Goodbye.
Yeah, like
it's kind of
by Hannah.
Hannah Jones.
We love you, Hannah.
Love you, Hannah. But like, what? How many fake idols did she make?
I want to say 20,
12 or something? A lot.
12. Hid every single one of them, and none were really put into use.
She tricked a couple people.
She got a few of them, but then she got caught.
Yeah.
We love you, Hannah.
Love you, Hannah.
Get on an actual show. You're born for entertainment. I noticed she wasn't at the. Oh yeah, if people don't know. If you want to know what Gabby and some of the other Syracuse Heroes versus Villains people have been up to, there is a reunion on the Syracuse YouTube channel. Go watch it. I'd say it's pretty good. There's some drama moments. There's some shit talking, mainly by people who weren't there.
That's the thing. I felt bad about talking shit in some moments because there were some notable people missing, and I was like, well, they are not here to defend themselves.
Someone very notable for not showing up and stay true to their name.
Uh-huh.
We won't. You should know who we're talking about if you've seen the show.
Real fans know.
Yeah, the true fans know. But speaking of which, everyone throughout the cast, mainly people familiar, talk about this assumption of there's going to be returning players. So I'm under the assumption that season 4. No, they thought they were season 4, but they were actually season 5, and they assumed there'd be returning players. Paul got his cameo and showed why he's so bad at doing outros. He cannot do them to save his life. Love you, Paul.
It's hard under pressure. It's hard under pressure.
I wouldn't know. It's because I never play them. I mean, you kept it simple. You have simple ones. You're just like, fuck y'all.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm angry. Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye. Both times.
Yeah, but so people were like fully convinced that I think season 5 was like fully convinced that even my season, we thought it was going to be a tribe of returning players and a tribe of new players. Like we thought it was going to be like a Micronesia type situation. And I actually am kind of guilty of slipping up a little bit because Mel and I told you we're in the same sorority, and our premieres were on the same day, but they were at different times. So if you watch, and they're literally at the same spot too. So it's like
I was about to ask, was this filmed like at the same day as your premiere? Like which one happened first?
They were filmed on the same day. I think ours happened first, and I texted Mel because our sorority had like an event that day, and I knew that she was going to be there anyway because she was on e-board. I had no idea she was playing, and I texted her and I was like, "What are you saying in your excuse email for the sorority? Because like I'm going to be playing, I'm going to be on Survivor." And she was like, "Oh, are you on this season?" Like she was like, and yeah, so I think they were very surprised when I was super surprised when I showed up to my premiere and it was all returners. So I think they were probably super surprised when they showed up to theirs and it was all newbies.
Yeah, I'd imagine. I'm sure when you showed up, you're like, "Oh, fuck these people."
I was like, I haven't seen any of these seasons.
Yeah. You're like, half of yous I don't know. The other half I don't care for. And then there's Paul.
Yeah, you're in my brain. You're in my brain. That's exactly what I was thinking.
I get you. That's usually me when I play orcs. It's like, okay, I don't know majority of these names, and the few names I do know, I do not have good opinions of.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is going to be fun.
It's so funny.
And Paul, true to his name, kept talking about his game out loud in front of people.
Yeah, that happens. I mean, I think we all thought it was safe to talk in front of Mel because we were like, E-board's not going to play a game.
No, why would they play?
They got us.
Busy on production.
They got us. Exactly.
They got you, gal.
Exactly.
And then we get to the intro. Okay, I want to complain to whoever divides the tribes. They clearly were not watching because obviously they know me, about how I was complaining about the villains tribe and how everyone's name sounded the same. There was you, Abby, Jack, Jake. And you put a tribe of, I'm just going to list out everyone on the orange tribe. So there's Phil, Will, Mel, Maddie, Marcelo, Mario, Emma, Emily, Lily.
Wow, that's actually really bad. I didn't even notice that. That's really bad. I would have been
So
fine with that.
who divides these tribes, and why do they not want me to speak properly on this thing?
I have no idea. And I actually have zero idea how they're divided. I don't know if this, I'm trying to even think because usually the seasons have some kind of theme, like
This one doesn't. I'm pretty sure it's literally just
a new era.
random.
I think
Yeah, it's a new era.
that Andrew and Mike are saying.
I like to think these are like Andrew and Mike's draft picks.
Yes,
it's like
exactly.
the one tribe is the Mike tribe and the other's the Andrew tribe.
Exactly.
And then on the Shallow tribe, interesting name.
Yeah, I don't know. Gaga.
I'm trying to think, wasn't that Gaga movie popular when this was being filmed?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even think so. But I don't know why it's shot. Yeah, I don't have the answers. I don't know.
I was just thinking Shallow also. Is this gonna be the Maroon 9 of the tribe where everyone's just a bitch?
We
will see.
We'll see. The jury is out on that.
And for those who don't know, on the Maroon tribe, not the Maroon tribe, the Shallow tribe, Jason, Julia, Ben, Parker, Eli, Casey, Andrew, Brianna, and Savannah.
Yes.
First challenge time. Spin and throw a ball blindfolded.
Yes.
So, you had queries on this challenge on a certain Mel?
Well, I was just going to say, in our Loved Ones challenge on Heroes versus Villains, you had to, one partner was blindfolded and the other person had to direct them. And it is very difficult to do that, especially when you're, for me, I felt like my problem was my voice wasn't like cutting through as much as other people's voices were. So she kept listening to other people and what they were saying. And like, I'd be screaming there, like, you know, whatever. So it's very hard if you can't be louder than the other person. It's pretty much impossible. And it's very easy to get frustrated. So I felt for Will when they said that he like started just yelling and getting really mad. Because I know that when I was doing the calling for Mel in the Loved Ones challenge, I just gave up after a while. I was like, we can't. She was running into trees. It was like literally like trampling other people. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
I just imagine you sitting there on the porch just being like, go left. I just saying left every like 5 seconds.
I was literally just like,
we're last anyway.
We're done. Pack it up.
Yeah, and I mean, you have to deal with loud voices like Jack Lavalvo, Jake Niebuhr.
Yeah.
Literally just those two because Cam and Abby don't talk.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, I feel like people with higher pitched voices, it's like harder for that to carry louder. I don't know.
It just goes to the air.
Lost to the wind.
Lost in the wind. It's lost in the breeze.
Exactly.
So, notable things that happened. Marcelo going all over the place and never in the right direction, trying to tackle Andrew to the ground.
Like straight.
Straight. He's trying to go back home. He's like trying to get to the season 4 cast.
Exactly.
He's like, I want to know who's playing season 4, even though I don't know any of these people. And apparently Mario takes forever throwing the ball. And the one thing I don't get is like everyone's saying it was so difficult to throw the ball. It's like y'all were blindfolded. Of course it was difficult.
Yeah. Like also that's the point. Like it's challenge. It's called a challenge.
Yeah, it's kind of in the title. It's not like we're gonna flip a coin and decide who wins, even though that's kind of what most challenges are.
Yeah. Sometimes they are like that. Yeah. I don't know. It seemed pretty hard, but there was one, I forget who it was, but there was one person that their strategy was just to stand in exactly the same spot, and the caller was the one to pick up the ball and bring it back to them. And I thought that that was probably the better way to do it, so that you could kind of have more of a gauge on like what direction you're facing and like how much power and follow through you actually had on the throw, instead of like, going to get the ball and then having to try to find where you're supposed to stand and then throwing it again. I thought, I don't know. I feel like there definitely could have been ways to make it easier.
Potentially, like use the plank in some sort of way, or just
Yeah.
try and cheat. Because
You're trying to maybe open your eyes, you can see through the blindfold.
Yeah, but that can be a thing. Like, just open your eyes and you can kind of see through the fabric holes.
Sometimes that happens, and like that's not my fault that
Yeah,
someone didn't test how thin the blindfold is.
it's not my fault. Production's budget is not that high.
Yeah, it's not my fault that Luke is like paying for all this out of pocket.
Oh, the poor guy. Well, he doesn't have to do that anymore. He graduated.
Exactly, and he gave his heart and soul to that org, did beautiful things.
Yeah. Let's hope your legacy carries on, Luke. And after all that, I kept asking throughout the premiere, who is winning? I don't know who's winning. But it turns out the Shallow Tribe was winning because they won. Congratulations. So what's the first thing you do when you win the first immunity? Usually you hang out as a tribe. You get to know each other. Not these people. They go idol hunting.
Yeah, well, I don't know if the idol clue came out like immediately as soon as they left the challenge, because I've never won the first challenge, so I actually
Yeah, you did. In Mind, Body, Soul. Your team won the first one.
We didn't lose. We got second. So even then, yeah, I guess we didn't hang out as a tribe immediately after, but Heroes Villains we hung out immediately. We got like breakfast or whatever, and I felt like that was really important. And to skip that and go
idol hunting right away,
straight to the idol hunt. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be the first thing I do with everyone. It's just like, hey, let's all hang out. The clue's probably not going to be out till another 2 hours, so we might as well hang out for then.
Yeah, and also sometimes those clues are like very
super vague.
Yeah. So you might not be in the right spot at all.
Yeah, some of the clues are like, it's on campus. Sometimes we might as well just say that.
Literally.
Yeah.
There was one clue, the Mind, Body, Soul, the first idol clue that we got at the first challenge. I remember Polly wrote the clue, and I remember talking to them after I had been eliminated and being like, what the hell was this clue? And there was part of it where it was like the idol sits somewhere where it's always turning. And I was like, what did this mean that it was always turning? And Polly was like, well, it's on the ground and the earth is always turning. And I was like, literally shut up.
For God's sake, me. You might as well have said like, well, I mentioned idol because you're looking for an idol.
No, literally.
No shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, okay. Cool, thanks.
Stick to editing, Paul. Maybe actually, nobody's good at writing idol clues.
There were just always some funny, like Luke always had funny words that he liked to put in he always like used some funny fancy words that he liked to put in the idol quiz, and we'd always be like, what the fuck does this mean? It's great.
Oh, yeah. Was this Syracuse or was this Scotty Survivor? I remember one Survivor I watched. A clue was a Hannah Montana episode.
That was not us. That sounds awesome, though.
That must have been Scotty Survivor then.
That sounds awesome.
It was like 3.
Immediately, they said that they were like, what is the clue? It's something about like shining
light, day and night.
Yeah, so I think that this was like almost the exact same clue that they used during the Find Luke challenge on Heroes versus Villains, because it sounded so familiar. But yeah, when I got our clue, I immediately went to Shine, which I forget who said they went to Shine, but somebody looked there. It ended up being in Day Hall, right?
Yeah, Day Hall, around the drunken stairs.
The drunk steps, yes.
The drunk steps. We love these names that we give to places. I mean, we literally have a park here called the Junkie Park.
That's awesome. It's because these are steps that are like, there's two ways to get up to these dorms that are like on top of this hill. And there's one set of stairs that's like on campus, like near the quad. And then there's another set of stairs that's really close to the frat houses. So there's one that
Oh, that makes sense.
there's one that you go up when you're drunk, and there's one that you go up when you're not.
You're so... And immediately, everyone is looking for these clues. Brianna and Parker are looking. Eli and Andrew are looking. And Jason, too lazy to go, he just figures out the clues and tells everyone. And I don't know if you're familiar with helping people find idols that you found.
At least I went out and like was there looking for them. Like,
Yeah, this guy straight up says, I'm just not arsed to look for these idols.
and it was so funny that Derek was behind him. Like, Derek was shocked. Derek was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
What is this kid doing?
I'm sure if Derek felt like he could, he would have gone and hunted for that idol for Jason.
But did you not watch him in season 2? I'm pretty sure he went out and hunted idols.
Yeah,
I'm assuming. I don't rewatch season 2 because I don't like it.
Well, he was definitely hunting for the hero's idol that was found at
Kimmel.
Kimmel, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Shout out to the guy who told Cassidy and Holly where it was.
Yeah.
The groundskeeper.
That's so funny.
Well, so someone who did not need a groundskeeper to find the idol was Julia. She found the shallow idol. I'm pretty sure it's the shallow one. Yay! Because there's a lot of idol confusion, which might as well get into now. So apparently Brianna found a random idol on a card reader, but it turns out, oh, that's not an actual idol. We're going to re-hide something.
It was an advantage, right?
She found an advantage as well, a tri-swap advantage, but she also found a pendant that was like an idol, but production was like, no, sorry, the idol's like null and void. We have to re-hide it.
Oh, you know what? She might have found one of our season's idols.
Maybe. I say that was it because there's like no parchment whatsoever with it.
Oh, I don't know. I obviously wasn't super paying attention to this part because Polly and I were watching together and we were like, wait, what are they talking about? Because we saw she found that advantage. But yeah, if you're I know that there's always been some fake idol stuff. And if you find something and it is not wrapped in that burlap with tape and it doesn't say, hello, this is an idol, it's not.
It's not.
It's not an idol. I also did notice when they were reading, I don't know if it was the advantage or the idol description, but they said it's like, it's new era, right?
The idol.
The idol description still says, like, if you're going to give the idol to somebody else, text Luke and tell him. And I'm like, don't text that man. It's not his job.
He's not bothering your season. You have to take Mike or Andrew. That's what they're there for. They're not there to look pretty.
Let him live his life. Don't text that man. Text Mike and Andrew.
Yeah, he's too busy trying to get the heroes and the villains to get along.
It never happened.
He's too busy trying to coax Hannah out of whatever trauma she's going through. Like, who knows? Maybe transition was happening, and that sounds horrible.
Transition tribal.
Maybe transition tribal was happening. I should finish that sentence.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
More detail with the shallow people. That sounds so bad. More detail with the shallow people. Who came up with that name? So people are in the idol hunting 5 are like, hey, we're idol hunting. Let's make an alliance. And everyone is like, ooh, we like Savannah. Let's add her. So she's immediately in alliance with doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Which is usually a good sign.
Savannah is another one of my sorority sisters. She's also very nice. But I was like, slay Savannah if she just has to sit there and people are like, she seems cool. Let's put her in an alliance.
She's just sitting there recording a confessional and she has like 7 different alliances. It's like, I had to do nothing. I just had to show up and be me and everyone just wants to work with me. I mean, Eli immediately was like, hey, final 2?
Crazy.
Who does that? Who makes a...
Crazy.
I do not have high hopes for majority of these people. Not because I think they're going to do terrible. I think some of them are going to make it far. It's because they're either going to be not entertaining or they're just going to be sad. Like, there's always one tribe that's just not entertaining. Like, the first tribe, not entertaining. The Soul tribe, kind of not entertaining. The heroes, not entertaining.
Exactly. I mean,
Nope, now they're all blue.
yeah. Oh my God, you're so right. The blue tribes. Blue tribes are the lame tribes.
Yeah, blue tribes are boring.
Beef blue for boring.
I mean, look at this modern season.
That's so funny. Yeah, I it's tough. I feel like when you win the first challenge, sometimes you are riding that high of like, oh my God, I'm the best at Survivor. I'm the best. I'm invincible. Nothing can go wrong. Let me do literally everything possible. When really you should probably like chill out for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, these people are idle hunting, they're strategizing to advantages already. They just seem like the people that are like, we're not going to, you know how the heroes were like, we're not even going to bother talk to you guys. We're staying hero strong. We're
Yeah.
not even going to hear you. I get that vibe from these people. I feel like they're not going to do anything. They're just going to be like, I'm just going to stick with this 5 because we known each other for 2 minutes longer than we known you guys.
Exactly. But I do think that it seemed like they were all getting kind of sus of Brianna. She's the one who found the fake idol, right?
Yeah, she found the null idol. She found the tribe swap advantage, which, if for people who don't know, during the tribe swap, she can swap with somebody on the tribe, or she can switch 2 people, and it's a transferable advantage, so it will take effect at some point, but who knows if it'll be Brianna doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because as Brianna said herself, she is not doing well in the team portion. She was like, hey guys, you know this idol that is being re-hidden because of me? Hey, can I have it if somebody finds it?
Yeah. I was like, all right, girl.
I mean, brave. I'll say that. Dumb,
might as well ask. But I would have reacted the same way that her other teammates reacted, and I would have been like, fuck no. Are you kidding? I would have been like, what are you talking about?
I mean, I would have done what any normal person would have done. I would have said fine to her face and then just talk shit behind her back like normal people. I wouldn't do what Andrew does and go on this whole tangent and be like, I was looking forward for the alliance and all that jazz. Like, mate, calm down.
Also, like, no, you weren't. Like,
no, you weren't. Nobody looks for an idol for the alliance unless you're Derek.
Yeah, exactly. There's only one Derek Rosen.
Yeah, and he's too busy hanging out with the heroes, talking about how the villains are all evil and going to hell.
Oh, mean.
You're called heroes, yet you're the mean ones.
Funny.
And then poor Ben, he's like trying to intro his way in, and it's just nothing's happening. Like, people are blowing him off to go idol hunting.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like maybe he came on too hard with the like Survivor Super. Is he trying to hide his Survivor Super fanness, or is he like?
I have no idea. It doesn't seem like he is.
Yeah, and I feel like people say that they're going to try to hide their super fanness, and then they end up being like,
they never do.
Yeah, they can't resist because they're with a bunch of other Survivor nerds. They want to talk about Survivor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that then there is some kind of power also in like kind of staying out of it for a second. Like, you don't want to stay so out of it that you're completely on the outside, but like making these really strong allegiances right off the bat kind of pigeonholes you really quickly in the game. And for him to kind of step back and like be the person that other people need to bring in for the vote, I like that position for him. I don't hate that.
Yeah, that's a good position. You don't want to be stuck in a group of people that you're like, ooh, maybe I don't want to be stuck with these people I immediately made an alliance with. Like, you can kind of see with the 6, it's already becoming a 5, and they have not been to a tribal.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And then Casey, who gets no confessionals.
Yeah. Maybe
she got nothing after that challenge.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
Yeah, and everyone's immediately like, yeah, Brianna's gone. So does Brianna have any hope if they lose a challenge?
I mean, she just better hope they don't. Like, I, she, I don't. I really. I wish I could say that I felt that she had any hope, but I honestly, I don't know. It's kind of really. It's hard when you when you get yourself into a bad spot early on, because those first few votes are just based on anything,
Anything. Yeah.
anything,
People will come up with any reason to vote you off. And
anything.
speaking of which, let's go to the Morundo tribe. Morundo, whatever their name is.
Yeah, Murado or something.
Morado, something beginning with M.
Something.
Uh, yeah, Morado, yes. Orange tribe.
Orange Tribe.
Yeah, I like that they went back to the classic, the first two tribe colors, but they just made the shade of blue darker.
Of course. Now it's more. It's a new era.
Yeah, new era, new blue.
New blue. Still
Same
boring.
dullness.
Still boring.
Still boring, no matter what the color is. Unless you're the body tribe on. Well, actually,
Where we were, Body Tribe was, yeah, we were light blue. We were boring.
yeah.
Once I left, we were boring.
There was some, like Holly and Madison were fun.
Jason Ding, too.
Shout out Jason Ding. I mean, you are the only person who's ever voted off.
Who's ever, like, accidentally voted themselves off, basically.
I mean, it's happened on the real show before.
Yeah, we very, very rarely get it on Survivor Syracuse.
Rarely, yeah. He's the only one with that to his title. Now let's go to the Orange Tribe, or as I like to call it, the same but different tribe, because everybody has the same name, yet they're different. Let's talk about Emma.
Yes, let's talk
Because
about Emma.
she is going around to everyone being like, okay, we're voting well. And everyone's just like, okay.
Like, I mean, someone's got to do it, I guess.
This is the Emma tribe.
Yeah. I mean, I think that in my season, there was very much a, I don't know if it was because we were all returning and we were so hypersensitive about like everybody else analyzing everybody's move, but nobody wanted to be like the first person to throw out a name. And for Emma to be the one to be like, okay, we're going to throw out this name. And, you know, if you don't feel like Will's helping your game and you also don't want to be the first person to throw out any name, like if I'm in that position and I hear that, I'm like, sure, Will's gone.
Yeah, anyone that hears a name that's not theirs, they're just like, sure, fine, it's not me, so I don't care.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened when like I got voted out. Everyone was like, Abby, sure.
Yeah, sure. Madison? Nah. Holly? Maybe later.
Holly, maybe later. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was the same not only with Heroes vs. Mind, Body, Soul, but also Heroes vs. Villains, where, well, everyone was like grasping at straws to think of a reason to vote off someone. Lydia, she's a winner. Jake, he's a runner-up. Kevin, he's not here. Abby, she doesn't talk to anyone. Hannah, she's Hannah.
Exactly.
That must have been a stressful week for your sorority. I mean, you and Mel going to first tribals.
Yes, it was stressful for our family relationship, our family dynamic. But when we both made it through at the end, we were like, yes.
Yes, we're not the first boots.
Yeah, exactly. Because I also didn't want Mel was obviously trying to beat my placement. She definitely, she hasn't.
I mean, technically she already has by being casted because there's only 18.
Also, she did beat my placement because she survived her first tribal, which I did not do. So technically better than me. And I know that was one of her goals going into it. So good for her.
Well, she beat your first placement, but can she beat your second placement? That's going to be more of a challenge.
We'll see. That is definitely going to be more of a challenge.
Yeah. She has to literally come second or win in order to beat you.
Yeah, it's a heavy burden to carry. We'll see what happens.
I would laugh if you were both voted out on the same day.
Oh God, that would have been. We would have crushed some margaritas that night for sure.
Yeah, it's like your sorority happens. It's like this is the day where we all just cry because it's the day we get voted off,
Call
and
it a
it's will be,
meeting.
and it's a sorority tradition that carries on through the ages of insert name of sorority here.
There's a lot of Survivor icons in that sorority. Molly LaPesca. We got Julia Kelly, I'm pretty sure, was also in there. Savannah of this current season.
This current season, the
There's
only person that did not suffer a first tribal so far in that sorority,
yeah, exactly. Good for her.
because Molly and Julia both went to their first. Well, Molly went to the first tribal twice.
Yeah. Good job, Savannah.
Yay! Breaking records.
Breaking records.
So it's really the Emma show with this tribe because everyone's talking about how they have a relation. Well, the one thing I like, everyone's getting confused on who is who.
Mm-hmm.
Just like me throughout everything throughout, it's like, wait, was it Emma or Emily? Maybe it was Lily. Was it Maddie?
Mel, Marcelo.
Mel? Mar? Yeah. Why did you cast everyone that had a similar name on this one tribe?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Oh, and also congratulations, Syracuse, who have now entered the Emily Hall of Fame, where every college survivor, has to have an Emily.
Oh, really? Is this our first Emily?
Yeah, this is the first Emily in Syracuse.
Good job, Emily.
You made the list.
It's an elite club, I'm sure.
Yeah. Now you just have to cast a season with multiple Emilys.
We should have a theme that's just like Emily's versus Julia's or something.
Emily's versus it's like Emily's versus Alex's versus Sarah's.
Yes, and then that would be really great for our job because everyone would have literally the exact same name.
Yeah, it's like first vote, Emily. Emily, Emily, the tribe has spoken. Which one of us? All of you.
Yeah, a very short season.
Yeah, it ends after 3 episodes.
That's funny. The whole tribe gets wiped out.
Oh, something we forgot to mention. Well, I forgot to mention. So apparently we have a roommate situation going on. Parker and Mario are roommates, and Julia is friends with both of them.
Yes, and there's somebody else who lives in the building that
Maddie lives in the building and knows Parker and Mario are roommates, but is not telling anyone yet.
not telling anyone that she knows, which is good. That's good information to be able to, weaponize. She can use that to get other people to trust her a little bit more, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and she ever finds herself in a pickle if it's like, I might be on the bottom. Okay, time to drop this bomb. So Mario knows people outside the game that's on the other tribe.
Exactly.
Now, we've seen in College Survivors that roommates can have a big effect. Some of the best College Survivor seasons have had powerful roommates. Some of the worst College Survivor seasons have had roommate drama. Y'all know which ones I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, well, you were on a season where obviously your second season, people knew each other prior to playing because they've either played together or they were friends before. What would you do in this situation? Let's go back to season 3 and you knew people knew, like, let's say you knew Ryan and Lindsay knew each other and you were on their tribe.
Yeah.
Would you be telling people like, we need to be careful of these two because they know each other? Or would you be more like, ooh, immediate duo?
I think I would clock it, but I don't know if I would bring that info up right immediately because I know that on Heroes versus Villains, one of the things that got people kind of freaked out about Lydia early on is she was saying like, oh, these two are RAs, like that might be a duo. Oh, these two know each other from this thing, that might be a duo. And then I was immediately like, whoa, this girl's like clocking too much shit right off the bat. Like that is scaring me. Maybe she's the one who needs to get, that kind of deal. I think that I would clock it, keep it in my back pocket. As somebody who is trying to hide a relationship like that, like I was trying to hide the fact that I was best friends with Polly on Heroes versus Villains, I would be kind of shaking in my boots a little bit if I was Parker and Mario and I knew that this girl lived in our building and like sometimes I'm in the elevator with her or something. I would be nervous if I were them that she was gonna use that to her advantage.
I wonder if they're aware that she's in their building. I don't think they are.
I don't know if they are, but I feel like depending on which building they're in, you get a pretty good idea of who's in your building. But it might have been hard because it was COVID times, so they couldn't really go on other floors and all that.
Oh yeah, we have to remember this is all filmed during COVID.
Yeah. So maybe they don't know that she knows because they haven't really been able to be on other floors. If that's the case, then she has some very good information because they don't know that she would know that.
Yeah, they don't know that she knows that they know each other.
They know that she knows that they know.
That they know. But they don't know what this know and they know.
Yeah, there you go.
Idols! So the main consensus with this Orange Tribe is Will is going. Emma told Will Lily because reasons?
I don't know. If I was Lily, I would be like, why is that my name? Excuse me? Why?
I think she was asking that. It's like, wait, why is it my name? I literally didn't do the challenge because y'all were too slow.
Yeah. Yeah, that would make me nervous because the trend with the heroes and with the villains when we went to Tribal multiple times in a row is it was just, what was the other name we were talking about last week? Let's put that person on the block next.
Yeah, and I remember a certain college Survivor that I did not like watching. Yes, I watched too many of these, help me. Where somebody was named Lily and she got a vote every tribal council pre-merge that she went to.
Oh no, I hope that's not the case with this Lily.
Yeah, I mean, I would also know for that experience because I played an org where I got a vote every tribal council I went to except for one.
Oh my god.
And that was the final four. So every tribal I went to was like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, all right, let's move on.
Okay, there's my name. It's like, and I will say somebody went through a Jason phase where they voted me, and they were the ones that ended up voting off.
Oh.
Yeah. That's what you get for writing my name, bitch.
Rip Jason Ding.
Yeah, sorry, Jason. Who knows? Maybe this Jason will lift the Jason curse. I don't think so.
I don't know. It seems like the Jasons have a tendency towards being apathetic about the game of Survivor.
Yeah. So if your name's Jason and thinking about applying to a college Survivor, maybe don't.
Yeah, well, at least make sure you care about the game.
Or at least act like you care.
Except I honestly think it's even more iconic and hilarious to be filming and be like, I don't know what I'm doing.
I mean, I remember a certain college Survivor player that would record confessionals talking shit about production every time and would constantly be like, I don't want to be here.
It's so fucking funny.
If you personally want to see this, watch Michigan season 4.
Yeah, this is just an ad. This is just an ad for season 4. That's
I'm here to advertise all college survivors that I find worthy watching. One of them being Syrvivor Syracuse season 5. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here, and nobody else would do it.
All right, so
I pretty much everyone sees Emma as a shield.
Yeah, well, if you're the one, if you're the loudest one in the beginning, that's what I'm worried about. Is you're the loudest one in the beginning, then everyone's like, cool, she'll be easy out in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, Brianna and Emma kind of have similar outcomes, where it's like both of them are loud and out there, but Brianna's doing it more as like kind of a clueless way, while Emma's doing it like in a leadership position that people are like, okay. And the thing is with Emma's tribe, I don't see a lot of leaders on that tribe. I see a lot of followers or wannabe in the background people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I think Emma's forwardness is more of an asset, because we hear a lot of people say we can keep Emma for a while as a shield and then get rid of her. Well, as Brianna, everyone's like, get rid of her right away.
Yeah, that's the thing, is when you're gonna be the loud one on the team, you gotta also not be annoying.
Exactly.
Because
And here,
there's nothing that will get you voted off faster in college Survivor than being annoying.
annoying. Care to name names?
Me.
You weren't annoying.
Season 3, I'm sure there was a little bit of a, all right, goodbye, girl.
It was like, oh, this bitch.
But I trust me, some of my decisions in my Survivor career have been like, who can I just not stand anymore? And they, like,
We've all been there. Where it's just like, I just don't want to deal with this person anymore. Please, can we vote them off?
Yeah, so it's one thing to be the loudest voice on the team if you're like, getting shit together. Another thing if you're just straight up annoying.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm the type of person to go and like, I want to do this and things and strategies, and in the game I'm like, I don't like this person. I'm just going, can we please vote this person?
Yeah. Sometimes it is personal, Sometimes it just is.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not drag, it's personal.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it's not drag, it is personal.
Personal. Oh, no more Luke Paul's Drag Race. That means we're going to have Mike Paul, Andrew Paul's Drag Race? Maybe. I don't know. They seem too straight for that.
I don't know. There could potentially be a future iteration of the challenge. Maybe not season. Maybe seasons. I don't know.
I mean, Paul gets voted off early in your season. Maybe he helps on with season 5 and he makes Paul's Drag Race.
Paul's Drag Race is awesome. That would be great.
Paul, if you're still watching, make it happen.
Yeah. Hashtag Paul's Drag Race.
Yeah, let's get it trending.
Let's get it trending.
Screw Try Guys trending. Paul's Drag Race trending.
Paul's Drag Race. Polly's Drag Race.
Polly's Drag Race. You can be the Michelle.
Of course.
Obviously. It only makes perfect sense. And at the end of the day, Will goes home to an 8-1 vote, the 4th unanimous first vote in Syracuse. Oh, God. Let's get more interesting votes, people.
Yeah, I mean...
So, how do we feel about Will?
Yeah. I think it's super easy to be like, well, that person messed up in the challenge. And since, the first votes are very much, they're decided by literally anything, like we said before. Yeah. I'm pretty sure my vote, me getting voted off season 3, was because I did poorly in the first challenge, and that wasn't even the challenge that we were going to tribal for.
No, you went to tribal because of charades. Was
that your challenge? No, it was The Price is Right.
Oh,
I was really bad at The Price is Right. I was really.
Oh no, you were bad at guessing.
Yes, exactly, completely. But
yeah. That's like saying, "Oh no, I got a bad result on the Magic 8 Ball."
Exactly, you're so right. But I understood his frustration, like I said before, because it's a hard job to be the caller, which is why I was saying this when I was watching it. I would never volunteer to be that kind of pivotal person in a challenge that early on. Because your first challenge, if you're, in charge of doing something that important and you fuck up, yeah, you're easily the first one going home, easily.
Yeah. Never step up for a puzzle. Never step up to be a caller. Just be something in the middle with a large number group where you can just kind of blend in.
Especially the first challenge, because you don't have any kind of relationships or alliances to fall back on if you fucking flop massively.
Yeah, I would do what Lily did. I just go last in a challenge and be like, well, I didn't do anything because y'all took forever.
You were too slow.
Yeah, you were a terrible caller.
He did seem really mad, though. He, didn't say anything and just walked straight out.
Yeah, he was blindsided. I mean, day one blindside. Who can say that happens to them?
Yeah, I know the feeling, and did the equivalent of storming out of the room, except I was on Zoom. So
Yeah. You were just like, fuck y'all, and then screamed in the group chat for 15 minutes and then left.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
pretty.
Well, before we end up, I have started some. How do I do this? It's been a while. I don't remember how to do any of this. Oh, here we go. Share screen. So, what I started doing a while ago, nope, not that one, is I started ranking the placements of people throughout different survivors, and here's the Syracuse one. And Gabby, since you are the lovely co host, you can help where we rank Will among the first boots. So, number
Oh,
one, obviously, this is based off of gameplay, potential, how screwed they were.
okay. All right.
So,
Thank you for
as
putting
in,
me in number two. Love that. Thank
yeah,
you.
I mean, you were clearly going to win, and you had a better game than the other two.
Thank you.
Madison's above you because she actually made Final Tribal. So, as you can see, here are the first boots. Lydia's number one because she kind of went in with the target right at the gate. I mean, when your target is you won last season, you can't really shake that off. Jen, very last minute, as well as Aaron, but Jen had a better slightly game, and we love Cam.
We
So
love.
where will we rank Will? So I'll add a 5 for the group 5 people.
In terms of
Like, out
Lydia,
of,
Aaron, and Cameron,
out of those 4, like, where would he rank? Would he be like, was his game slash how screwed he was better than, like, is he number 1? Is
I see. I don't think that he did enough.
I
I
don't
don't
the
think he did enough to save himself, really. Like, it didn't
yeah
seem like he thought that he would be in trouble, even though he clearly.
Yeah, he was like he went to talk to 2 people, and they said they were going to talk to 2 other people, and I was like, all right, we're voting Lily.
That doesn't work. See, that's kind of what I did in my season. And then I was like, of course, looking back, I'm like, of course I was blindsided. I wasn't talking to half the tribe.
Yeah, you told one person we're voting Madison, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Like and so, yeah, I think that Jen and definitely Lydia fought a little harder for their lot. I don't know if I think I can't decide if he did more or less than Aaron.
I would say Aaron did more. I remember his being very like last minute. Unlike we're changing everything. We're now not voting Derek. We are now voting Aaron. I definitely say he did more than Cam because Cam did not talk to anyone for 3/4 of her time there.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
like, do we put him above Aaron or below Aaron?
exactly. That's my thing. Do we put him right next to Jen? Well, I feel like he was a little more robbed than Aaron just because like I know how hard it is to do that collar challenge job.
And it
And
was very much grass. There was like no proper reason. I don't even think he did that bad as a caller.
no, they just said he like got
Yelled
frustrated. Yeah, which like of
is
course he
part
got.
of the task.
Yeah, and like of course you're supposed to yell, like you're supposed to
Yeah,
be
I'm
loud.
pretty sure somebody even says that where it's like, Emma said he was yelling, and well, that's pretty much his job. He was the
Yeah,
caller.
who's supposed to be yelling? I would put him in between Jen and Aaron, probably.
That sounds good. Like right in the middle.
Yeah. He's the third best first boot.
Yeah.
Hey, that's good. Could be worse.
Yeah, it's not last. I mean, to be fair, last place in this is a winner, so.
I'm the only person to place 20th in Survivor Syracuse history.
Because yours is the only one to have more than 20 that's not a first booth.
That's so funny.
So you will always be number 120th place.
Always. That's so funny.
So
I
I'm
love how
wondering.
you have me as better than Sean DePaz. I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, he was clearly going to win season 1 if he made the end, but you were going to win because of gameplay. He was going to win because people hated Jake, and it was season 1, so nobody knew how to play Survivor.
Everyone hated Jake. It's so funny.
Also, I don't want to say biased, but it is my list, so.
Yeah. No, I like that we get to collab on this now. I feel comfortable about that placement.
Yep, that looks good. And if anyone calls out, this is the exact same as Keep Your Torch Lit cast ranking, it's because it is. This idea was influenced, inspired, and stolen from them.
I love that.
Yeah, shout out to Sarah X, Jack Tiggleman, and Sam Morris from Michigan. Good luck in All Stars.
Shout out.
So, Gabby, thanks for joining. Do you have any last words, final thoughts on the episode? Things to expect? Things you're hoping to expect?
I think again, I don't know a lot of details from this season, but I was around while it was happening, and
You're too busy playing your own season.
Yeah, I was busy, but I know that some kooky stuff goes down, and that it's a pretty fun time. So there's a lot of strong personalities. I'm hoping that there's more fights. I'm hoping there's more drama. I'm hoping we get a villain. I want a clear villain real soon.
Yeah.
I want them to come out of the woodwork.
And a proper villain, not just some annoying person.
Yeah, not just someone who sucks. Someone who's evil.
Yeah, I want a good classic Jake Niebuhr villain. I was going to say Jack LaValvo villain, but I don't know if I want that again.
That's a little too scary.
I want Jack LaValvo season 4 villain. That was better than season 2.
More tame.
Yeah.
More
I want a Hannah Dolan chaotic villain.
A Hannah Dolan last couple weeks of season 4.
Hannah Dolan just in general. Yeah, we love Hannah. She is so much fun.
Stanas.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Gabby, for joining, and thanks, everyone, for watching. If you want to see more Survivor Syracuse stuff, follow the YouTube channel, follow the Instagram, follow all the socials. If you want to talk anything Survivor Syracuse, join the Survivor Reddit Discord. There's a Syracuse chat, as well as a bunch of other college survivors that I have name dropped throughout this. Please hire me. And if you want more live reality games, follow the YouTube channel, follow all the socials, subscribe, chat, like, all that YouTube stuff that people say. And we'll see you next time for another episode of Survivor Syracuse, A New Era. Bye!
Bye, guys!